coming to you from the jungles of Burma. This is the Jungle Discipleship School podcast. Welcome to the podcast. My name is David Small, and I'm going to be your host on this journey today. And thank you so much for being with us. It's such a honor that you give us your ears and your attention and your mind. And we're just with you, and we're thankful that you're with us. And this is the first ever episode coming to you from the Jungle Discipleship School grounds in Burma. We are actually sitting on the land that we hope to one day be the Jungle Discipleship School. And it's pretty amazing. If I describe the view, I'm sitting on this old fallen down log and I'm looking out through the bamboo and the bushes, and it's a beautiful view. I can see the mountains in the distance. There's leaves falling on me right now from the trees above me. Behind me is the boys. They're cooking and listening to music. And there's a waterfall. I can hear the noise of the waterfall behind me. And it's just a really beautiful spot. And this morning, we walked around the grounds, and we had this plan that, okay, we're going to walk the grounds from bottom to top, left to right, and search the whole thing. So we really get a feel for the grounds. A lot of bushwhacking, and Tere was with us walking ahead with the machete and chopping down these vines. And man, everything is thorny and wants to slice you up, but that's the jungle for you. And, we hiked around to a mountain nearby, climbed up to the top so we could get a view of the grounds and everything, and then came back down, went around the camp. And we really just took our time and said, okay, what would it look like if we put a classroom here, or if we, where should we put toilets? Where do we put bathing areas? How do we run blue pipe? Where are we going to put solar systems so that we can get electricity? And, we've got these massive trees. They're so beautiful. And, I'm just looking at these trees right now, and they're just awesome. And anyways, so, we just kind of mapped out in our minds and then later on paper, where we're going to put dorms and like barracks and dorms and cooking houses and dining halls and a little like student lounge area and teachers' houses and the office and all these different things. And it was really just fun. We just spent the whole morning just wandering around the grounds and as a group deciding and discussing, just saying, okay, what if we put this here, or should it run this way or that way? And let's put the soccer field and the PT ground up there and over here. And then we would come around the corner and discover this whole new piece of the land that we hadn't known was there. And it was just really, the more we walked around, the more we were just blessed. And this afternoon we climbed around the waterfall. A little bit hectic coming down the waterfall, but you might see that in one of the TV show episodes coming up. But so we had a great time, and it's funny how the grounds kind of presented itself to us, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the next section here. But first, I'm going to turn this over to JaLa and let JaLa share some of the latest news of what's happening in Burma with you, and then I'll be back with you. So here's JaLa.
Hello, I am JaLa. I'm from the kitchen end of Burma. Now I was been in our just like a new school ground, Jungle Discipleship School ground, and that's why we don't have a connection. That's why we will take a little bit, and a lot of we got a lot of helping to us. For us, you have been very thank you for that. And now we are very useful in here. We're trying for our best, or we're trying for our people for the best. Thank you, and please help me, and please pray for us. Now I want to share about the Burma news and what is happening in Burma. First, I'm going to talk about the current Arakan. First, I'm going to talk about Arakan. The Arakan army has warring all remaining Burma Army troops in the state to surrender. Two Burma Army battalions in Mapun Township were so afraid that they abandoned their own camps on February 18, destroying weapons and ammunition, and were then elevated to An Township by helicopter. The AA then took the position of the burning camps. The AA took two more the Burma military camp in Mount Township, bordering in Bangladesh on February 19 and 23. Making for five camps captured in the past week. Inside the camps, the AA found weapons, ammunition, and dead body of the Burma Army. The rest fell, but were burning head down. The AA captured the main police barracks in Panat Joy town on February 22, only 20 kilometers from the state of the capital Situate, and on the same peninsula. The AA has also mounted a week-long of the military training school in An Township. This is about the Arakai. And in Kachin State, and I want to talk about Kachin. The Kachin Army and all of the PDF are captured Burma military camp the morning of the February 17 in Mansi Township. Just responded with airstrikes. In the Mansi, the Kachin Army took over another camps and Siganji since February 19. After 2 days, better. It is located on the road from the Mandalay to the Kachin capital Myitkyina and was headquartered to 2 battalions. More than 40 dead the Burma military were found in the camps, along with at least 50 weapons and 12 troops were captured alive. Some of the dead were from the Burma military's own airstrikes, which also killed 5 civilians and injured 7 others. 3 days after that, the Kachin captured a third camp and the town of the JaLa in Shuigu Township after the Burma military troops abandoned the camp there. Some Burma military forces are trying to recapture Molu town in northeastern Sagaing region, which was liberated by the Kachin Army on December 13th. Now I want to talk about the Karenni. A day after the Karenni force took control of Shador town on February 13, the Burma military left 2 time border camps, taking the remaining troops by helicopter. Karenni force then cleared the camps. The Karenni army also attacked third camps. The Burma military soldier and an officer have been arrested by Karenni Defense Force KNDF in connection with the murder of 3 women and 3 children in the Shador Township on February 5. The victims were kidnapped as human shields and guide, and then shot to death. This is in Karenni happening many times just like that in all of our Burma area. Now I want to talk about the Kodule current. Current Army Brigade 4 and the PDF ambushed and ambushed 17 with bro Brigade 4 and PDF ambushed and 17 vehicle Burma military supplies carry on the VT road and on February 21, capturing and destroying 7 of the truck and killing about 30 of the 300 troops on the road. Show in a video. 7 Korean soldiers also dead. An officer was captured as were many weapons. Yeah. District. The Burma military has had white door is administrative office from Papun Town back to Kamamao on the southern edge of the district. After the Kodule government KNU wanted the Burma military staff to leave Papun. This leave the Burma military with hardly any administrative footprints print in Mudo and only scattering of remaining military posts. The destroy is mostly liberated. The Burma army has built guard posts or at all entrance to current state capital Pa'an and the Bengals at army and government office there. Fearing imminent attack, current army troops were reported 15 kilometers away on February 17th. And the Burma military is worried about its former lucky the BGF attacking the city. About Shan, a new fight broke out between the northern Shan SSPP Athlete Army and the Burma militaries, and is very lucky for military, the PNO, on February 21. Yeah, this is about the news of in Burma, what is happening in here. And in Burma, a lot of fighting and a lot of destroying the Burma military, by the Burma military. A lot of people are getting run. Many people are staying IDP, and just like that, they need food, they need a medicine, and they need supply a lot. Please continues to thank you. Continue to pray for our country and continues to happen to us. Now we need a lot of your help. Please help. We need your help. That's why please help us and please pray for us. Very thank you.
Thanks, JaLa. You know, this afternoon we hiked up the little hill where we have a Starlink on loan to us right now from FBR, and we're really thankful for that. And but because we have these massive trees, we have this beautiful canopy of trees above us, and it gives us a beautiful shade and the nice sound of the trees and the wind. And however, it does limit the Starlink from being able to make a connection to the satellites. And I figured, you know, Elon Musk would be able to shoot his Starlink through some tree leaves, but I guess not. Anyways, so we hiked up the side of the little mountain here where we could get a clear view of the sky and set up the Starlink. And we hadn't really connected much in since we got on the ground, the last 24, 48 hours. And as we connected, you know, we got news that one of our friends had been killed by the Burma army. And this is just a reminder of it was kind of this sobering moment of like, as soon as you come back into a connection zone and you get your messages and you look, the war is still going on and people are still dying. And he was up in Pa'o area, which is in southern Shan State, and got hit by a 120 millimeter mortar shell and was killed by that. And so it's sad that this is still going on, but this is the daily reality. And I think about the guys that are with me and my very close friends, and I just think, wow, every day that they're still alive, they are playing the odds. Every day that they're on the front lines and a member of one of the ethnic armies, they are really playing the odds that they will live or not live. And it's really just a sad thing. And so we just remember our friend today and this afternoon. We spent the night last night on the ground, our first night on the school ground, and it's actually not officially ours yet. Now that we found it and they know that we want this spot, they're going to take it to the council meeting that'll happen in 2 weeks' time, where they will say, okay, this school wants to build their land on this, or their school on this ground, and do you guys agree or not agree, or do you have problems? And everyone was really positive. All the villages that we've been through have been really positive and friendly, and so we think it's going to be smooth sailing, and that they'll give us the approval to build this school here. Anyways, it was quite the adventure, and we had a little team meeting last night, and we were just kind of marveling at God's timing. And if I back up a minute, I'll just talk a little bit about parenting. And I am not a parent. I hesitate to talk about this because until I just believe that until you have had the kids and raised them from infancy, you can't really talk about parenting. So I hesitate to bring this up, but I was having lunch or dinner the other night with my friend Adam, and who I hope to get on the podcast one of these days. But anyways, I was having dinner with him, and we were just chatting about, the guys living in my house. And I asked Adam, like, oh man, do you ever just feel like you're failing as a parent or as a, caregiver for these guys? And Adam's got two of his own kids. He's got two beautiful daughters. And Adam laughed and just said, oh man, all the time. And I just felt this pressure, the past few weeks of, okay, I've got to do this and this and this and this and this, and the boys are waiting for me downstairs, but I've got to get all these things done and check all these things off the list, and I've got to go and look at this piece of land, and I've got to go look at that over there, and I've got to have a meeting with this family, and that, like, there's like 100 million things to do every day. And yet the boys are sitting around the living room kind of waiting for me to either give them some instructions or to do something with them. And I just kind of thought, like, I felt guilty the whole time, like, oh man, I should really be spending more time with them. That's the whole purpose. That's why they're here. And anyways, so I felt this guilt, and I was talking with Adam about it, there are some times where we just have to be gracious with ourselves and say, hey, okay, yeah, I should go and spend time with the guys instead of doing this thing. And that's more important. And they understand and they get it. And I should be gracious with myself. But I also just think that there's other times where you just need to do better. Like, yeah, okay, there's a time and a place to be gracious with ourselves, but there's also a time and a place where we need to do better, where we need to, go and spend time with them and stop procrastinating and stop wasting our time, because to be with the guys is the most important thing. Secondary to this podcast, secondary to the TV episode, secondary to fundraising, secondary to my visa situation, secondary to booking travel, arranging logistics, buying supplies, secondary to all of those things is just to be together with the people in my house. And I think about that in the sense of I've had 5 guys living in I have 2 guys that live in my house regularly as they're going to university, plus me. And then I've had 5 extras living, and I just did the paperwork, the math this morning. And next week I'm going to have 12 people living in my house. And I do not live in a big house. I live in a little townhouse. And oh my gosh, you need to pray for my neighbors because they are going to kill me. Yes. Anyways, so where was I going with this? Oh yeah, God's timing. God's timing has been perfect in all the meetings that we've needed to do. First, down in 7th Brigade, which you saw on the TV show episode 1, we went and did that. And then the second set of meetings was up in 5th Brigade, which you'll see on the next TV show episode, so stay tuned for that. And then a quick follow-up meeting last week, and then there were these little things like there's a guy that, okay, pause, I'm going to tell a story. And I tell this story in my new book that isn't out yet, but I'm working with a great editor named Josh. And anyways, so there's a student, his name is Saul, okay, and he comes from 5th Brigade in Karen State in Burma, and he came to our ranger training maybe 6-7 years ago, and Saoke could not swim to save his life. And literally I had to save his life on multiple occasions. And Saoke and I had this amazing connection because he would come to the swimming class, and he's just this little tiny short guy. And sorry, I'm thinking of Micah and Grace Koistra right now. A little shout out here because they do units of measurements in little tiny short guys. They will not they will get this joke. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Anyway, so Saoke would jump in the water. He's a little tiny short guy, solid muscle, and he would just thrash his way forward with just a sheer look of fear and determination on his face. And as he's thrashing all his might forward, he is also slowly sinking down, 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 right to the bottom of where we teach swimming. And he would sit on the bottom of the river with this like arms crossed, resigned look, and waiting for me to dive under as you know, his teacher, and rescue him. And when I would dive under, I'd be looking around to try to find him, and I had my eyes open, and I would see him just kind of with his eyes open, like looking, giving me this look like, hey man, I'm waiting for you, come on, what's taking you so long? And so I'd come around behind him, and I'd put my arms around him, and I'd push off the bottom and lift him up to the surface of the water. And as soon as he got above the water and got his breath back, he'd just start thrashing forward again and just go, 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 go. And as he would go, 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 he would slowly go down, 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 down. And this was his swimming lessons for several months. And I would swim right next to him, and he would just make eye contact with me. And he can't speak a lick of English, nothing. And at the time, my Karen was even worse than it is now, and but he would just find my eyes as I was, as he's getting ready to go, and he would kind of look at me like, "Hey, do you got me? Are you watching me? If you're watching me, I'm going to go for it." And I would let him know just through my eyes, "Yeah, I got you. I'm with you." And I would not break eye contact with him the whole time that he would keep swimming. And a couple times he was really drowning, and I had to really rescue him. And he brought me this little Karen bag as a way to say thank you. And after ranger training, we went on a mission together. He's climbed this coconut tree, huge coconut tree. I've got a video of it. I'll share it on a TV episode. And he just did it the other day as well. But anyways, he climbed this coconut tree, got me coconuts, and after that, I didn't hear from him. I never saw him or heard from him again for maybe 3-4 years. And every time I would pass the area where I knew he was from, I'd slow down on the motorcycle and just kind of watch the people in the village and see if I could find him, but never could find him. And anyways, just lost touch with him until this year. And this year, somehow through some different people, somebody just said, "Hey, he's trying to find your messenger. Can you get in touch with him?" And we reconnected, and he was down in Bangkok in Thailand trying to find work in the city, trying to make some money. He's got a wife and a daughter, and he's there in Thailand trying to work. And I was heading down to Bangkok, and so I said, "Hey, can we meet up?" And we met up, and we spent a few days together over Christmas, and it was just a really beautiful, fun connection. And anyways, as the months kind of passed, he said, "Hey, I can't find any work. I'm thinking about heading back home." And he said, "Okay, are you going inside soon?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be heading into Butho Township, your area, in the next week or so. Why don't you come to Chiang Mai and meet me, and then I'll take you with me." And so he came up with us, and then he crossed in with us last week. And man, what a blessing he's been here. He knows everybody. Everybody knows him. He knows all the leaders. He knows, he knows every village name. He knows every trail. He's just really been so helpful here as we've been trying to find this school ground. And we were talking about it last night, 1 week of meetings in 7th Brigade on either direction, or 1 week in 5th Brigade on either direction, everything bumping 1 week, and we would have missed each other. We would not have been able to work it out, that the timing would have come perfectly, that he's ready to go home and we're ready to go in at the same time, and we're able to take him back to his home, and he's able to really be our guide here. And I just had this feeling like, hey, it would be really good if we had somebody from that area. And then God rekindled this relationship and showed us Saoke. His name is Saoke. And anyways, it was really fun, really awesome. We were just kind of marveling at God's timing in every meeting. Months ago, every meeting was on time. Every delay that we thought was a delay was on time. And I'm on time. And you're on time. And it's so often that we feel behind in everything. We're behind in our parenting or our caregiving. We're behind in our finances. We're behind in our education. We're behind on our homework. We're behind on all these things that we need to do. The 100 million things on our list of things to do today, we're behind. We're constantly feeling behind. At least I do. And we're not behind. We're on time. Because God's got this plan for us that is perfect timing. And God doesn't work in our timing. God does not work on a 24-hour time zone. Just this morning I was talking to the guys. I've got 2 friends coming over to visit, and we're going to go inside. This is also going to be a TV show in the future. But, I don't want to give away too much. But I got these 2 guys coming from Canada over to visit, and I was giving them my tips on how to beat jet lag, how to work within this 24-hour time zone. And we're constantly trying to control time and fit within time. Dates, calendars, schedules. I hate being late. I love being on time. One of my very first bosses told me that if you're 10 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late, because you should be 15 minutes early for everything. And God doesn't work on our time zone. God does not work on our schedules. God does not work in our calendar years or our 24-hour days that we may think of. And there are some, theologians that may freak out about this if we start to go down the the creation, Genesis, 7 days timeline kind of deal. And I don't know all the details about that. I don't know, I don't know all the theology behind that, but I just know that God's timing is perfect. And wherever you are in your life, whatever you're feeling behind on, your parenting, your taxes, whatever it is, you are on time. You are on time in the plan that God has and knows for your life and for my life. And the way that we were able to find this ground, we came in with this, we had a week where we said, okay, we're going to use this week to find the ground. And we arrived, we kind of got our bearings, we went and met with the leaders, we went and met this awesome little school. And and then we started to go bushwhacking into the jungle and try to find different places. And we went to 2 places on kind of our second day. And, both places, one place was adequate, but not amazing. Could have maybe worked, but it just didn't feel like, ooh, this is it. And I, that night I was pretty down because I just was really doubting myself, really feeling like, oh man, like, am I in the wrong area? Have I made all this effort to come and I'm not even in the right area? There's nothing here for us. And, I really went down this rabbit trail of doubting and feeling like I've screwed this up and now we're going to be late for everything. We're late because we've got a mission plan next month. And, anyways, I was in a foul mood the next morning when we woke up and that night, and the boys were walking on eggshells, but they were really gracious to me. Anyways, so we woke up the next morning and we left on motorcycles, and man, the road is so rough here. It's like just big. We're driving these 3 motorcycles, and I'm so thankful for you guys that support us, that we were able to buy these motorcycles before coming in here. And anyways, you're driving over like big boulders on this like logging road, would be the equivalent in North America, and just bouncing around. And then after about an hour of that, we turn off. Oh, and there's this big, large, kind of fat village headman who insisted on riding on the big motorcycle, which I was driving this kind of dirt bike, and he thought it was really cool, and he really wanted to ride on the back of it, but it doesn't have a back seat. And so, but he really insisted on this, and and so he climbed up and sat on the back plastic of the bike, and he didn't really know what to grab onto, so he just grabbed onto my butt cheeks as we were heading up these steep mountains, and he was pinching and holding my butt as we were driving up. I don't know if this is appropriate. Anyway, so we drove about an hour on these rough roads, and he said, okay, turn off here, and we turned down this like goat trail. It's like a deer trail in the jungle, and it was hard riding. It reminded me of the hardest riding I've ever done was in 3rd Brigade in Karen State. I'll have to tell you guys about that another time. But, we turn off, we come down this dirt trail, and you're making hairpin turns. And if you over accelerate or over brake or overturn, you're down the side of the mountain, and you probably won't die, but you'll be pretty mangled as you snowball your way down 100, 200 meters of jungle thorns. And anyways, really, really, really hairy riding. And then we finally arrive in this village, and after another hour or so of this rough riding, and they say, okay, it's about a hour walk from here. And so then we start walking, and I'm just, I dumped my motorcycle. Everything was fine. We were hardly moving, and I felt bad because this big village headman that was on my back of my motorcycle has a busted up leg, and he's like, just be careful about this leg. And so then, of course, when I crash the motorcycle, I crash it onto his leg, and I burn my leg on the muffler, and or the like exhaust coming up, and I'm just not in a good mood. And we start walking into the jungle, and it's smoking hot. And we're walking, and I'm kind of thinking like, oh man. And finally we come to this clearing, and they say, okay, this is where your school is going to be. And I was like, what? Like, there's no water. We're not anywhere near water. We're up on the side of the mountain. And they said, oh, water, yeah, follow me. And then we walk, and the clearing was beautiful, like really big trees you can't even wrap your arms around, and straight as an arrow. My friends that are loggers would be drooling over these trees. I'm thinking of you, Petco's and Friesens and Pete Fuhr. Like, these trees are big money trees. But anyways, so beautiful clearing. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, it's beautiful, but we need water. And then they say, okay, just follow me. And we walk around this little kind of bend and through the shrubbery a little bit. And suddenly we come around this little corner, and there's this stream and this amazing, beautiful little waterfall. And I'd been asking for days, hey, is there any waterfall anywhere nearby? Like, I'd love to see a waterfall. And everyone's like, no waterfalls. And they're all, even the guys that were with us, the village headman was kind of like, oh, wow, a waterfall. Yeah, amazing. And they were kind of like surprised. And anyways, God just had this piece of land for us. And as I walked around the land, my spirits lifted because I just felt like I was home. I was where we needed to be, and this is the spot we needed to be. And the more time I asked, can I have like 20, 30 minutes to explore? They said, yeah, take your time. And we explored the grounds, and the more I explored it, the more my smile just grew on my face. And even the boys last night, so then we asked, can we sleep on the ground? They said, okay, go and sleep at the checkpoint. We'll get permission for you to sleep on the ground. And we came back yesterday. We slept on the ground last night. And we wanted to know things like, where does the sun rise? Where does the sun set? Is there any wind blowing? And just all these things that you get just from being here a long time. And, we are on the edge of this cliff, and we've got this waterfall that kind of flows right through the middle of our training ground. And this little beautiful stream, and if you follow the stream down, you see that it comes to a drop, and it shoots out over a 200-meter drop down the edge of this cliff. And we're actually on this plateau on the side of this mountain with this beautiful stream and beautiful waterfall. And anyway, I can't wait for you guys to see it on the TV show. I can't wait for you to visit it if you want to come and visit it. I can't wait for you to experience everything that God's got in store for us at the Jungle Discipleship School, but also for you in your life, and the things that God has in store for you, and the ways that God is growing you up that you're on time for. It's really amazing. Anyways, the sun has shifted, and now I'm sitting on this log in the sun, and I've got these flies buzzing around my head, and I just wanted to record this podcast, the first ever podcast from the Jungle Discipleship School grounds in Burma. And we're going to sleep here again tonight. Tomorrow we're heading back to the checkpoint area, where we're going to stay another night at the checkpoint before heading back into Chiang Mai. And we could just use your prayers. That I could use your prayers. There's a ton happening in the next few weeks, in the next month. And I don't even know where to begin. You can pray that, first of all, that the township council agrees that we can build our school on this land. You can pray for our crossings back and forth, and we're getting we're a team of 7 right now, and we've got 5 more coming in the next couple days. And so we need to pray for their crossings and their travel. And after that, I'm going down to Bangkok, where I'm going to meet some friends coming from Canada who are coming to visit and come on mission with us. And, just pray for smooth travel for them. And they're bringing me a Starlink, which will be awesome. And it's a little hairy getting that through customs, so we can use prayer for that. And then we've got this big mission planned where in March, we're going to do a week of meetings and planning and rehearsals in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. And that's going to be very hard, and we're going to need a lot of prayer for that we don't make somebody really mad because we're so noisy and they call the police on us because everyone's undocumented. And then we're going to come back inside and go on a mission, and we just want to bless people. We want to be the hands and feet of Jesus in here. And feet, why don't you say feet of Jesus? Anyways, so yeah, we could just use your prayer for that. That mission might cost upwards of $9,000. And so for those of you and our community fundraising, sponsoring things as a community, as a group has been really fun. And some people have already pledged support for that. And yeah, I'm just thankful for that. But the mission's going to be expensive, and we want to bless people. We want to bless the villagers that have nothing. And yeah, we want to bless the soldiers here. We want to be able to encourage them. And so we need lots of prayer for the logistics and the finances of that mission. And that'll take us all the way through to April. And I'm hoping to be able to keep getting some podcast episodes out to you from the Starlink, from Burma, from wherever we are on the mission. And I'm just really thankful for you guys for being with us in this journey. And yeah, there's so many people that I'm thankful for. And there's some people we have this website. If you go to davidsmall.org/prayer, there's two parts to this website. I mentioned this earlier in a podcast. One part is to sign up for our prayer warriors list. If you want to get prayer updates from us regularly, if you're a prayer person, prayer warrior, and you want to know how to pray for us on a regular basis and pray alongside us, then at the bottom of that page, you can sign up for our prayer warriors email list. But there's also a form where you can send us your prayer requests, because we want to be a school and a people of prayer. And we want to pray for you. And, as people have given us money, I think about Hill and Britt. They gave us some money just recently that has been such a huge blessing. And Hill and Britt I don't know very well. And in fact, I can't use the term that Hill used to describe me, but I was kind of enemy number one of his when he first came to FBR a few years ago. And anyways, it was just really amazing to be able to talk with them and ask forgiveness to them. And then they were blessed. They blessed us with a financial gift that was just really incredible. And so I just want to give a shout out to them. And yeah, there's just so many people that have been helping us with things like, Bibles to bring to people, and paying for our food, and dropping off, a truck full of rice and oil and eggs and all these things that are just small things, but it's just really, I'm really thankful for it. And things that I can't orchestrate, things that I can't think about, things that I don't have enough brain capacity on a day-to-day basis to deal with, and God is dealing with it. God is dealing with the logistics of all of this, and so just come alongside us and let us know how we can pray for you, and we'll let you know how you can continue to pray for us. And yeah, I'm just going to close this episode with a prayer. Yeah. Father, I'm looking out on this beautiful view, and I'm thinking about Lazarus. Jesus, you're listening to our prayer, and I'm thinking about Lazarus, where you, Jesus, were away. You're doing something. They said, hey, your friend Lazarus is sick. He might die. And you stayed a few extra days, and he died in those few extra days. And as somebody who knows and feels the weight of decisions that have consequences, life and death consequences, I know you felt that. And then when you come to the tomb of Lazarus, and everyone is crying, and everyone is mourning him, and it says you wept, but it says then you looked up to the heavens. You didn't bow your head, Jesus, and close your eyes, but you looked up to the heavens, And there's this verse, there's part of the verse that Jesus, where you just said, like, you did that for their benefit, which is amazing. That, we need to look to these beautiful places, these powerful places, to remember the Creator, to remember you, Jesus. You were there with the Father. Holy Spirit, you were hovering over the darkness. You were hovering over the world, the void. And at your voice, at your word, it came to be. And as I look, Jesus, at the ground I'm sitting on, the trees, the mountain in the distance, the waterfall behind me, I just thank you. I just thank you, Jesus. Thank you for this land. I thank you for everybody listening. I thank you for the people that are on this journey with me. And I thank you for that we're on time, that we are reminded today that we are on time, that your plan for us is perfect, that we are neither late nor early for what you have in store for us. Father, I think about my brother Tuare, and his sister is dying in front of him, and I just lift him up to you in prayer. I think about our ranger friend who has died, and his family is grieving, and all of the ranger community is grieving, and so I lift them up to you. Catch our hearts, Jesus. Catch our hearts. Catch our hearts. And Jesus, I just pray for our upcoming plans, going back to Thailand, the guys coming over, other guys joining us, my neighbors not killing me. I give it all to you. I give everything and everyone to you. Our March plans, our March mission, I give it to you. The finances, the logistics, I give it to you. We want to be in the right place at the right time, doing your will. I thank you for everybody who's blessed us with money and gifts and finances. Just, I just pray a blessing back on them tenfold. Jesus, bless all their finances, give them everything they need for food and shelter and medicine and security and finances, all that they need. And thank you for all the listeners of this podcast and the watchers of our TV show and followers of our Facebook page. Multiply it and let us do it in a way that honors and glorifies you. Let us live our lives in a way that honors and glorifies you. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.